everybody. I know it's been a while since I made some videos. I just wanted to take note and say that it's November 6th, 2011. I don't have my cell phone on me. But I am no longer in the Black Hills at this current moment in time. I am down in Sedona at this thing called The Gathering, 11/11/11. And it is day 2 of the events. And the night before yesterday was, arduous with flying around and driving. I drove all night from Denver, or to Denver, and trying to stay awake, shaking my head and everything. Gotta stay awake, twitching my legs and moving around, trying to stay awake, and feel somewhat like a zombie at times, which us Americans are pretty obsessed with. Trying to stay somber and conscious while things are happening. Well, anyhow, we're at this place called the Living Springs Water Retreat Center, I think it is, and it's so gorgeous here. It's so beautiful. And well, anyhow, back to the thing at hand. At the event yesterday, it was an all-day thing going on. I found a few things that are happening that I just want to share, and they're on the external note very important on one hand, which I'll get into, and then on an internal note for myself, it's important because it's so amazing at the same time. So it's pretty cool stuff. One, internally and externally, I noticed that this profit margin of control, money type issues, the current structure that we've been in for a long time about fractional reserve banking and the control type of function of the system. Take heart, people. It's changing, and I've said that things have to get more intense before the global consciousness of humanity wakes up. Well, I found, and to no avail, I was not shocked, but it made me ache a little because I was like, oh, but like I said, the whole globe has to go through this intensity faction. So this area, like I've spoken, I've been looking forward to this coming here in Sedona, Arizona, this region where the Kundalini of the Earth spirit life forces intensified. So this area is very spiritual, not to mention physically speaking, the ancestral homes of this region go back really far with people who are grass-rooted and embedded into coexisting with the environment. So it's just coming alive and it's amazing. However, the profit margin, it's everywhere. I came here and I wasn't shocked, but like I said, it ached. And there's such control in Sedona in this area. The people who are having this function going, we're trying to just spread out the good word and be like, hey, check out this stuff. You'll like it, yada yada. You're welcome. Everywhere we would go to, not everywhere, but the majority of places would say, I'm sorry, I cannot take that. My owners will not allow me to, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, what, really? What's going on here? And I feel so much for our host, this man, beautiful man. He was about to just give up, just like we all do. We get to a point where we're getting just crushed and bear down with all this opposition in life, with people trying to control everything and thus trying to control you. And he was ready to say, you know what, this isn't going to happen. He spent months trying to make this happen, and he almost stopped. And like I said about the feminine energy, you gotta love the feminine energy. You gotta love that opposite that comes, and the union coming together, and what it does, creation. And it does it in many forms. And some lady came along, and just at the right time when the guy was about to just give, steps in, and then the two flow, and boom, they're still on board, and it's making it happen, and that's awesome. So I noticed that a few people would take some of the flyers and whatnot, but it was just like so much, and I was like bummed a little because it's like, really, this is happening everywhere. And then I told myself, oh, that's right, you said yourself, and you know this in your heart, that it has to get more intense. everywhere. So I'm like, okay, this is a reality that has to happen before the whole consciousness awakens. So then I was also relieved in thinking that, and it wasn't controlled to the intensity level that we weren't able to still do what we're doing, which is awesome. The second thing is that I thought, as far as information wise, um, somebody would come across with something new for me to be like, ooh, something to add to my repertoire, with my vast information in my head and heart that I just have inside. And I found, and this part isn't disappointing, and I'll tell you why. I found that I haven't heard anything. The seminars that have been held in the first day, the people that were the speakers, three different people spoke. I wasn't hearing new information, and for a moment I was like, okay, I've I talk about this, and I've been talking about it for quite some time, and I felt like this for even longer. But then I sat and I was like, this is awesome because of this simple point. They are speaking about it from their perspective. So what that does is it allows you to take on the ability of connection of the other for the self, because we are all connected. And to have those other perspectives talking about the same thing, I've been speaking about the Socratic method model and how Socrates spoke about discussion or debate or conversation or whatever. If you cannot be on the same ground, thus looking eye to eye at each other when you speak, you're not even going to be able to understand what's in the heart and the words of the other, because you're on two different wavelengths. So I found that that was enlightening to know that, okay, this is how I can be able to approach certain types of people with these aspects. And that goes into the other point, is that there's like energy all around me, and I feel like crying. I'm just like, oh, thank you, God. And because it's been frustrating for the last year. I'm in freaking school, college, where people are supposed to have this open mind and go there, and every time I try to share, there's so much opposition, or people don't care, or they're not interested, or they think that it's crazy, and they're like, and then when you try to go there, when some of them are willing to be a little open, and you kind of on them, because there's so much to share, then they look at you like, okay, now you're getting a little too deep for me, and when they say deep, they mean as in BS, and they, it stinks to them, so they don't want to hear any more of it, and it just kind of bites a bit, and but since I've been here, I find sometimes I don't even want to talk when others are like during the speeches. I'm listening, and there was a moment I just sat for a while, and I was just like, this is so amazing with this idea of symphonic silence, where there is no need to speak. There is no need to speak. There's just understanding. It's just pure at its core. Your energy is within their energy, and I and you, me, we are interconnected, and there is no separation. It is just one, us, and it's so amazing and breathtaking, and I enjoy it. And watching the sunrise today was very lovely. I have to admit, I haven't slept the whole lot in the last couple of days because, well, Nina's like a hibernating bear. She snores all the time, so sleep is, yeah, a luxury I'm not getting a whole lot of. so, but yes, I just wanted to make a little footnote to kind of document this, not necessarily for me, but for everybody once I get these all posted online, which I'm going to need to work on soon. But I just find that this time to be here in creation is so awesome, and learning the understanding of that the Mayans calendar was misinterpreted, okay, and the actual calendar itself, because they're known as the keepers of time for humanity, because that's what they were doing. This was their human goal, their whole objective. And it ended on 10/28/2011. That means, okay, that was the end of time. And humanity made it. Obviously, talking to you, you're listening to me, and we're still here. That means enough positive energy has been created in the globe to allow humans to keep this experience going. So, awesome, we're here, we made it. Now all we got to do is just keep on trucking, keep transforming, spreading the positive energy, sharing, and keep taking it to another level, and just keep on trucking and going and just living it and loving it. And on another note, with that, that means that time is done. All there is the now. So we're just meant to be in the now. Go with the flow. Go with these changes. Do not try to oppose or resist. Go to the center, like White Feather says with the Hopi people. Just go to the center of the river, collect with like-minded people, and just go with the flow and just keep on going and then be in the now. And I'll give an example so you can kind of understand. I've said in other videos with the is and the at, and how the is the be and the at is the destination to keep going. It keeps changing. Here's the illustration. We take a rubber ducky and you put it in a river. It sits on a particular water. The water that it's sitting on does not change. So in that movement you see, it's not moving from where it was. It is in the now. It's on the water that it is floating. It does not change. It is the now. And it goes. And where it's at is the only thing that changes, because you are in the is, the now. And the rubber ducky just goes with it and keeps on going with the flow. So people, enjoy the now, live it, love it, and when 2012 comes, all that is the galactic alignment of our bigger picture celestial body, our solar system and whatnot with the Milky Way, and that will be more of a cohesion for all the planetary alignments of our system that we live in and see in the skies every day. But for humanity, we made it, we're here, live it, love it, enjoy it, and there'll be more to follow. And I'm just glad to be here and have a little retreat from school and and South Dakotans, no offense, but it gets a little old having that there, you know, if you can't see my way, then I'm gonna take there. You know, that gets a little tiresome. So it's awesome to be where, you know, you don't even have to talk sometimes. You just look at a person, you're like, I love you, man. I just love you. And it's just awesome to have more and more people catching on to the left on movement, and it's just left on. So yeah, enjoy and namaste.